Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a little bit of a different show today. Just a little bit. We have the Honorable Jack Rock in studio. Jack, flex for him one time. 103 years old. 103 years old right there. How old are you? 87? 78? Something like that?
Rub it in, because you hit him
I'm
my way.
dyslexic. And then obviously we have Josh today. This is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a little bit of a different stream. We're gonna maybe reminisce again. I know we did some nostalgia back, but this is the first time Josh and Jack have been on the show together. A couple of things we're gonna get into. One is Mike Lee is proposing a bill to sell off federal land to essentially the highest bidder, so BlackRock, the Chinese, whoever else, because apparently we don't have enough housing. I think there's maybe another way we could fix that. We'll dive into that. We'll dive into, they saying we're going to use the nukes. Are we going to use the nukes? I think so. I think that's the inevitability. We're going to use the nukes to stop them from getting the nukes. You know, it makes sense. You know, it just makes sense. Nukes bad, so we use them. And then what else? About it. That's about it in the news cycle. And then we'll kind of reminisce.
Threat of nuclear war, that's kind of an all-encompassing topic, you know?
Yeah. But
that will accomplish a lot of things.
It would accomplish a lot. It sure would.
Can I throw something in there since you
throw
mentioned
it.
that?
You throw it.
Yeah.
The Japanese in 1940, 41, and back, they were the most vicious people on the face of the earth at that time.
Mm-hmm.
One atomic bomb from Einstein sent postal delivery, airmail, civilized the Japanese to where they're all silly now. That's what a big explosion will do for you when you nuke them.
I mean, there is something to that, Jack. What you do is you destroy the will of the people. And this is what we talk about, the Civil War a little bit, maybe more than we should. Josh kind of brought that up yesterday. But when Sherman came through and he started torching farms, and he was ruthless coming through. He destroyed half of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, all of these large cities, large plantations. He just destroyed them. It destroyed the will of the people. And that's the same thing that happened with the Japanese. We dropped 2 nukes on them, and the people, they lost their will to fight. Now, it's ruthless, and you probably shouldn't do it, but it does work.
It ended World War II.
It does work. Dropping nuke. Surprise, guys. Surprise. Dropping nukes on people works.
Einstein said after it happened that it was the worst thing he ever developed in his life.
I believe.
Y'all tell me why he said that. Anybody listen? Tell me why he said that. Why did he make that statement? Tell me why.
Because having a bomb that big, you know, it kind of throws the world into the unknown, you know? A world-destroying weapon.
He got a picture of the Japanese Hiroshima after it happened, and there were skeletons walking around. It melts
Jay,
the
what if I
flesh.
told you I don't believe they actually dropped nukes on Japan?
Believe what you want to. Hey, it's all fun.
I'm kidding. I mean, there is a theory out there that nukes don't actually exist. I think it has some grounding, but and they say that Japan wasn't actually nuked; they just carpet bombed it all.
I could tell you that there's no danger in that if you mess with me.
There's not.
But are you going
I'm not
to
even on
believe
stream.
me?
Hold on.
Now, yours isn't any threat to me. You know why? As big as your arm is, you know why?
Jack,
because
when
can't catch me.
Jack, you know when rubber bands are
out
young and still good, they come right out of the plastic, nice and stretchy. You know what I'm talking about, Jack? When the rubber band's nice and stretchy when it comes out of the plastic. But then you leave it out and it gets old and crumply. It's still stretchy, but it'll breaks
break
real
easy.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you. Break you like an old rubber band.
Who's going to catch me to break me, though?
I'll catch you. You ain't
know
fast.
what my favorite saying is at my age when trouble breaks out at the juke joint?
What's that?
Meep, meep.
Jack thinks he's
runner
out.
special. So
I was like, I don't
here's
get
what
that.
I say first before I meep. I'll say, you win. I'm going. How the hell? You win.
Oh my gosh. That's
How
funny.
about these Japanese? Get back to them, man. Old slant eyes.
All right, I got a question for
Yeah,
you.
I agree. I agree with Jack. I think we should bring back concentration camps. In tournament camps. That's what you're saying, right?
What else have we got that Donald
There we go.
Trump
Put all the foreigners in camps and make them work. I agree, Jack. You're right.
hadn't Donald Trump started the concentration camp?
Unfortunately, no.
No, not yet.
He's
Isn't
got
he
fences.
headed that way?
I hope so.
Yeah, I need
maybe.
somebody to work my yard for free. Come on, man, help me out.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
We
go,
got
go down
plenty
to the
of-
Home Depot, pick a couple of them up, and when they're almost done, just call ICE.
Yeah, you ain't got to
Then
pay them.
then you don't got to pay them.
Free labor.
Now listen,
Life hack. Life hack
Yeah,
101.
yeah.
you just made me think of something. We'll use Horry County example,
Okay.
where all the construction work goes on, house building and stuff. Well, if you were a member of the judiciary system in Horry County, you would know how many people in Horry County get suckered out of their labor. At the end of the week, they don't pay them. 2 week, a month labor, no, we ain't paying. Well, guess what? Right now, if you are an illegal alien and you're helping me build a house, and I've almost got it constructed, and I don't pay you, are you going to the feds on me? Are
Probably
you
not.
going to the judge?
Probably not.
I'm ahead of the game if I'm a contractor. Think of how much of that's going on nationwide.
Probably. Although the problem is, as soon there's going to be so much of them, they can gang up.
You think that's sustainable though, as a business model?
You'll
Deporting your employees.
You'll get a
Well, I mean,
reputation
there's basically 100 million of them here, so you could probably do it for a long time.
Matter of fact, I'll call that law for you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're illegal alien, you threaten me, well, I'm going to call the law. Well, call them. I'll call them for you. Hey,
Excuse me.
But yeah, we got Senator Mike Lee looking at all this federal land that we have across the nation. This beautiful federal land that we've turned into national parks and could be turned into more national parks. Most of it's out west, obviously in his neck of the woods. But what?
Oh, I see it.
Where'd it go?
It's there. Oh, he's
A little
jumping.
cricket,
Baby cricket.
an albino cricket.
a little green cricket.
He's
Anyway,
baby.
Jack, can y'all see that?
Yeah, see? They can see it.
Anyway, all right. Mike Lee's trying to sell off all our federal land to the highest bidder. I mean, his backers are BlackRock. Who else?
China?
Probably. Who knows?
Wouldn't be
It doesn't
surprised.
matter. But this is the problem. They're going to sell this land pennies on the dollar because they're trying to, one, create more housing. Well, we don't need more housing. We need less people. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
If that's your argument, we need less people. But that's not even the problem. The problem is the housing market is so high that nobody can afford houses. It's not that the houses don't exist. It's that nobody can afford them. And the people that can afford them are living off the government's dime, which is in turn creating inflation and destroying the housing market on top of itself. I'm making my pet, dude. Say something.
Eat him. Show the people what you made out of.
You want me to eat him?
Kind
Anyway,
of cute.
well, I didn't mean stay, dog. I'm gonna have to put you outside. But yeah, Jack, what you think about selling federal land?
I'm against it unless I own the land.
Yeah, that's right. It's okay. It's okay if I
It's
do it.
okay if I own the lane. Yeah. Yeah. I'm against drunk driving, killing a drunk driving ticket, unless one of my kids gets stopped drunk driving.
So you think we should get rid arrest drunk drivers?
Unless it's his
Should
kid.
we
Unless it's
arrest
your
them?
kid.
Not if you're an illegal alien. No.
All right. What should be done? What should the harshest punishment be for drunk drivers?
Run that by me again.
How do you fix drunk driving?
Yeah.
Y'all don't want me to get started on drunk driving now.
Yeah, we do.
I'm
Yeah.
not a drinker.
I'm not.
And listen, it's the same thing as riding around with a loaded gun, pointing it out the window, shooting above somebody's car. And one of the bullets just liable to accidentally hit one of the drivers.
Okay.
What's the difference? You're driving a missile, impaired. If you're a lawyer and you got a drunk driving case in court and you're for the highway department or the sheriff's department against this drunk driver, you pick me as a juror. That's how I am against drunk driving. Yeah, no excuse for it. Stay home if you're going to get drunk and don't have nowhere to go. Now, it's hardly ever I get serious, but I'm serious on this. Hi.
Hi.
I had to get you too. Yeah. I had you bumfuzzled. You were asleep. I had
got my
talked
number.
you to sleep.
He's got my number, dude. So, but what should the punishment be?
Deport.
Drunk drivers.
Yeah, deport. Then you know
I
they're
like
going to
that.
get drunk again.
Deport them to where there are no cars because they're going to get drunk again. I like that.
Yeah.
They're going to drink again. They're going to drive again. Put them where there aren't any
Send
cars.
them to Mars.
Put them on the next
Yeah, let
Elon
them be the
rocket.
guinea pig.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Get in touch with Musk.
Yeah.
Put them on the next shipment.
We should that should be the thing is like because Zeb and I, we talk about we should make prisoners do manual labor. You know, everyone's so like talking about free labor, make the prisoners do it. Maybe they should also be like test guinea pigs for I don't know, like
Instead of using monkeys.
instead of using monkeys, yeah.
Hey, no offense to the monkeys. No offense. Y'all don't get mad coming to my house. Go eat
What
my
a stream,
bananas.
boys. What a stream. Gunner, you made it early this time.
Hey, Gunner, what's up?
Why is it doing that again? Anyway, what's up, Gunner? Hey, he's made it to the stream like the last 5 minutes, the last couple of streams. Welcome. Lord of the Ree says, from what I've seen, there's a provision preventing BlackRock or other countries from buying land in addition to each purchaser being limited by the amount of land that they can buy.
That'll stop them.
Yeah, because they won't run it through other shell companies and do it decentralized. It doesn't stop anything. The problem is if you open it up, they're going to acquire it.
Yeah.
Federal land should be federal land and or private citizens' land.
They've got a literal
the
army of lawyers. You think they can't figure it out?
The problem is that we don't need to sell the land. The argument for selling the land is we need more room for housing, but we don't need more room for housing. We need less people.
Question.
Answer.
How you gonna build a house without a Mexican? Come on, we're killing ourselves
with
here.
a black.
We'll just make more Amish.
That's a thing of the past, cuz.
Black people don't do construction anymore. Or
You
or
ain't cut my government check out, cuz. Catch me working. It's against the law for me to draw a check and work. Come on, man. I don't know where y'all white people coming from. Hey, y'all need to get out of this white thing.
We need to get out of the white. What white thing?
Down on us brothers. Cut my stamps and my check out. Come on, man. They're going to deport me.
All right.
Yeah. I know what's y'all later.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry.
You gonna want me
we
to
got-
build a house drawing.
We
a
got
check.
old Sam High's daddy over here.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. Oh man, you're funny.
funny like hi.
Hi there.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Meet me tonight.
Oh man. No, you like them big old women. We were talking about that before the show.
Really, they come in different sizes. Like you can get a Fifth Avenue that big. Or you can get a $1.50 Fifth Avenue. I bought a $3.50 Fifth Avenue last night at the beach. I ain't know they cost that much. But that big fat Fifth Avenue, that joker was good. Hey, Joker. That joker was good.
She rides like a rattlesnake, huh?
Well, the little old Fifth Avenue, you wouldn't hardly got a taste of. You know?
Yeah.
That Fifth Avenue, you pig out for a half hour with it. Get all hung up in your teeth, lips, eyes. During the summertime, the chocolate's all in my beard. That's where I store my food, in the beard.
Oh, I got
Jack,
you.
Jim from Florence got a question for you. Do big booty Latinas get to stay?
Run that and buy me again.
Josh, let Josh do it.
Do big booty Latinas get to stay? Do they have to get deported?
I've always wondered that if I'm an ICE agent and I run into a beautiful illegal alien,
Yeah.
like you're one of your helpers in your office.
Yeah.
Hey, you think she's going home with me cuz I'm going to protect you. No. Are you sending a beautiful girl back of yonder? No prison?
Sure,
Come on,
sure.
man.
Well,
Come on.
glad we know where you stand, Jack.
All the males out of here, cuz. Good looking or ugly.
So, Latino, is it Latino men? You got something to worry about. If you're a big booty Latina, you can stay at Jack's place when ICE comes for you.
Jack, I'm gonna come to your house and look under all your floorboards. Okay, we're gonna get them. If you're hiding them, I'm gonna get my boys from ICE, and we're gonna come to your house and we're gonna flip over your entire house until we find all the illegals.
I'm going to warn you ahead of time. There's 4 Democrat senators protecting me at my house. And 4 Democrat judges. So what you going to do now, Mr. Iceman? Huh? Bring it on.
I was told
They're all at your house.
Democrats don't carry guns. I was told Democrats don't carry guns.
They are against guns, but all the Democrat cities are killing each other. With what? Guns. But they got all these gun restrictions.
Right. Well, where are they getting them from?
The Republicans are giving them to kill themselves. That ain't hard. That ain't hard to figure out, son. Come on. Use your head for something size a hat rack. Get off of that sheet.
Okay.
Boy, y'all young boys don't know what's going on out there. Y'all got a lot to learn, cuz.
Hang in today, Chad. Hang in there today. We're gonna make it. I want to get back to
Dog,
this
you
idea.
look good on that picture, son.
Who, Zeb? Or you?
No, you. Don't he, Zeb? If I was a queer, I want you.
This stream ain't gonna. We ain't gonna stay straight on these tracks the whole stream.
Do you get to cut this stuff out, Zeb?
Nope, it's live. These boys
Oh,
they
boy,
talking to us
I
right
thought
now.
we were just practicing.
Somebody said you look like Robin Williams. You do look like Robin Williams.
Oh,
a
he
little
kinda
bit.
does. He
It
kinda
sounds
do.
like Robin Williams too.
You're
You got to shave that thing off though. That thing on your face.
I ain't cutting nothing off.
How long you been growing that? 50 years.
No, Schaefer left the house. I got an electric bill and
Lord.
a letter from the IRS, and it growed out between the house and him. Pressure, stress. Kill me.
Oh man, you're a character.
Oh boy, kill me.
Jack, I got a question. We were talking about the Mexicans building a house and deporting all the Mexicans. They haven't been here forever. You were born in what, like the 40s? When were you born?
47. The year Israel become a nation.
Oh Lord. And who was building the houses before the Mexicans got here in the 70s?
There weren't no houses. We lived in the woods.
You worked construction, didn't you?
Yeah.
How was that?
How was it?
Yeah, how was it?
Anything to do with work is bad.
No.
What?
Yeah.
You think so? What do you do now?
Party.
I do
He
partied.
He partied.
Podcasts and parties.
This is his
like
second
the party.
podcast today. I will grant him that.
That's true. That's true.
How did I like construction? Yeah, great. I made a decent living for my family. Mm-hmm. I hate getting serious, but you asked a serious question.
No,
Don't get serious with me, boys.
All right, I got a fun question for you. We were talking before, and I said you seem like a guy who's got a lot of good stories. So I've been here about 2 years, and for 2 years I never saw an alligator. Until recently, I went to a state park and I saw them in like the pond, and I kind of got close to take some pictures, and then they started coming out of the water at me, and I got out of there. Have you ever had a close encounter? My boss was telling me a story about that today, but have you ever had like a close encounter with a big reptile?
With a big
Or do you get out of there? Is that your philosophy? You see a big old snake or big old gator and you just get out?
The last time, since you mentioned the gator,
Okay.
I'll use the gator for example.
Okay.
Last time I was at a state park, which isn't but about 3 miles from my house, PD State Park, I went down there. There was a gator out there, and everybody was running, scared. Me, the hero, I run over and jump on his back, pull his mouth open, and he had a big mouth for the rest of his life.
You stretched his jaw open.
Stretch it, boys.
Boys, let me tell you something real quick.
Tell them what they want to hear. That's the old political saying. Tell them what they want to hear. Make it up real quick. You know, then it sounds true if you don't be hesitant like you're trying to make it up. Just go ahead and tell it.
Jack's got some good stories, guys. Don't believe all of them. That's
Instagram.
one.
If you're going to believe Instagram, believe me. And believe that we dropped the nukes on Japan. That's why their eyes are slanted. The pressure from that heat.
So they used to have like normal people eyes.
Yeah.
And now
We turn them into illegal aliens. You know what an alien looks like? They all slant. You ever seen the picture
Yeah.
of alien? All of them got slant eyes.
They got, yeah.
And big old eyes. Yeah.
Oh, that
Them
is
nukes
funny.
will do it to you, boys.
I believe it. I believe it. Thank goodness they haven't got one off here because it'd be like that.
We're going, Donald Trump and Netanyahu, is that his name?
Yeah, close enough.
Netanyahu. I reckon I'm pronouncing it right. They fixing to turn them Arabs into slant eyes.
You think so? You think they're
think
going to drop a nuke on them?
They ain't got no choice.
You think so? Should they?
I don't think so. I know it. They ain't got no choice. We're going to blow mountains up. And we're going to hire illegal aliens to build the mountain back. We always rebuild what we blow up.
Fair.
We
That's
built Japan back. All the countries we blow up, Afghanistan, Iraq, all of them, we build them back. Yeah. But now Donald Trump's theory was, when we build them back and we own them countries, why didn't we keep the oil?
Why do you think?
He got the money in his bank account. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Make it up.
Man,
For for the Democrats, they gonna watch this. We love that old guy.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
He's spilling all the beans.
Yeah. Y'all didn't know that till I told it. But it ain't hard to figure out.
So what's something else for the people at home? What's something else that they don't know till you tell them?
Something they don't know till you tell them.
Till you tell them.
Till I tell them.
Yeah.
Manure stinks.
You don't say.
That's what they
Now-
told me.
That's what.
Shit, I seen it on Instagram.
Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I got an Instagram if they don't know how to work it.
His
gotta
Instagram
get
is
your-
Jack Scott. I don't know what his handle is, but,
Jack
but you
Scott.
can't miss that. You can't miss that face and that handlebar mustache he's got going on.
Die, boys. I'm going to warn all y'all young people out there something. When you get my age, throw all the mirrors in the yard.
Get rid of the mirrors.
Get rid of all the mirrors. You can live a whole lot better.
Yeah.
You know, you're not living in fear all the time, every time you walk by a mirror.
That's fair. You think
Yeah.
there's a ghost in the house or something?
Yeah, but there'll be a lot of you out there throwing your mirrors away, and you ain't old as I am. How'd I know that? Because I see you.
So I got another question for you. Are you superstitious at all? What's the superstition you got?
I want to get serious about that now because, listen, I cut the fool a lot and everything, but when it comes spiritually, I can get just as serious as Billy Graham. But superstition don't come with spirituality.
Right.
If you say you're superstitious, you don't believe in the book that we believe in.
Amen.
So I can get
That's
serious
good.
now when you start, getting spiritual.
That's good.
So
I like that.
So
That's a
let's
good
get
answer.
back to blowing up. I like blowing up things.
Who do you want to blow up? Or who do you not? Should we not blow up?
Who would I like to blow up?
Yeah. Who's your
Who
top?
would I like to blow up? Well, let me tell you the
Japan,
problem with that.
second time's the charm.
I had time to think.
Okay.
I told you, don't give me time to think. Let me just say, I had time to think.
Okay.
Listen to this. I have lived long enough to see my third generation of enemies die. So I ain't got nobody to blow up. All of them died.
Okay. All right. Good. So
I'm
you got no
living in
enemies.
peace.
Who's them three enemies in, Jack?
My three enemies.
Yeah, you third generation enemy.
I, me, and myself.
You've already been blown.
I'm my biggest enemy. Hey, and I got news for you people out there watching us. If you can stand this, you're your biggest enemy also.
Sometimes
I like that.
Sometimes
I like-
the things
You
that
are.
sound
That's
retarded
right.
are actually
You're
profound.
The biggest damage you have done in your life was to yourself.
Absolutely.
You can blame nobody else in life. Will people do you wrong in life? Yeah. But we do our damage. Real damage, we do it to ourselves.
So on that note, because that actually, like, I'll get serious with you. There's times where, like, I'm a Christian. I come from a very
Great.
Christian background.
Great.
At times, like, I've got family, and they talk, and it's true that, like, the devil's out there and the devil operates. But it's like, if you have even a bad thought, like if you have a doubt, like anything bad you've ever done comes from the devil. But me personally, I think, kind of like what you said, you're your own worst enemy. I think, yeah, the devil's out there, but to blame everything on him is to not take accountability for the sin that you and the fallen nature you have in you. Do you agree or disagree, or do you?
Here's the answer to all what you just said.
Okay.
Satan, Lucifer, second in power to God. God didn't take his power away from him when he kicked him out. He's still powerful. He controls this world. Lucifer sends no one to hell.
Right.
You send yourself to hell. Lucifer ain't. Does he tempt us? Yes. Tempt. It's a sin to fall to temptation.
Right.
That's us doing damage to ourselves. So, Satan has nothing to do with it. He tempts you in a bad way. Now, where we make the mistake, and preachers don't preach this, he tempts us in a bad way. But you got the Holy Spirit over here tempting us 3 times as much the good way.
I like that.
God is more powerful than Satan. God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit's doing the earthly work for them. And they got more power than Satan's got. So if you go to hell, you sent yourself to hell. You have nobody to blame. Don't. There used to be a comedian on TV when I was a young guy. He'd always come up and say, "The devil made me do that." The devil ain't made you do nothing. So let's get back to blowing up, people.
You like, all right, the blowing up.
This year getting serious now. We need to stay out of that, man. I'm proud.
Right. You got Zeb, you got another blow up question? Or do you want to tackle the nukes?
I mean, yeah, we can tackle the nukes.
I got a blow up question
Go
for you.
for it.
How'd you get your arms blowed up?
You ever seen SpongeBob, the episode where he takes the air pump and sticks it in his arm and just pumps it up?
Oh,
It's
I
that
do
easy.
the Popeye thing
Oh,
with the
yeah.
spinach.
Yeah.
Okay, we got something in common, boy.
I don't
you
know,
got
man.
air pump.
Dude, I ain't worked out in 8 months, man. I got 2 kids. I'm trying to build something, and I just ain't got time for it.
Yeah, but yours is hereditary.
So-
I have
yeah,
to work
some of
10
it's hereditary.
hours a day for mine. Don't forget that in your journey.
Yeah.
I work 10
I'm-
hours a day, just like a job.
Uh-huh.
I
You
do
work out 10 hours?
10 hours a day. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, tell them what they want to hear. Y'all like that? Hey, don't be late. Hey, I'm telling all of you something now. Y'all too young boys. You can laugh at old people if you want to, but you'll pay the price.
Half of it. You got to believe half of it. I think half's the number.
Okay, let's go back to this.
Okay.
If y'all want to get serious about working out,
All right.
you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's called discipline.
Okay.
You start working out.
Yeah.
Now, this is if you retired like I
I go to bed at 4 o'clock. We
And
need
you
to try
do it?
again.
You do it in section. And let me
Okay.
tell you something. Any of you that's bored, 10 hours will fly by so quick. Time passes so fast. Now let me teach both of you something, okay? And all y'all listen. Listen to this careful now. Look at me when I'm talking. If time is passing fast to y'all, you know what I tell my kids? We're living in time travel. Now, here's the catch to it. Time travel. Time passing I just woke up and here it is. And you're about what? 3 or 4 o'clock in the daytime. Okay. When time is passing fast. Last year flew by. Listen, it's already almost Thanksgiving. We fixing to start football again. It just got over. Okay. Time passing fast. Here's the catch to time passing fast. You're enjoying life. Well, how do you know that, Jack Rock? Well, go pull your hitch in the penitentiary and you'll see that you're enjoying life when time passes fast. When you're sitting in the penitentiary or at work, time won't never go by. When you're in the penitentiary, you're putting in little marks on the wall. Time drags to a person that's not enjoying life.
You don't
I
think
get
you
that.
had more time, or at least it didn't feel like you had more time, or time lasted longer when you were younger? Like the older I get, the more it seems like time just goes by faster. Like I got less time.
I have a theory about that.
I have a theory about that too.
Go ahead with it. I'm
You go first.
All right. My theory is when you're young, you're going to school, right? And with school, you go to several different teachers throughout the day, and you're learning and engaging your mind in all these different avenues. So you're constantly like in this heightened state of kind of awareness, I guess you could say, like ideally. And then you get these long breaks. You get like 2 weeks off for Christmas, you get spring break, and then they say it takes like what, 22 days to break or start a habit. So then you get to summer break, and that's 2.5 months. And basically that almost completely resets your brain. And then you go back to school and it's all different teachers, all different curriculums. So everything is constantly changing. Everything is constantly new. So when you do that, time seems to just stand still. But then when you go to work, you get a job, you're doing the same thing every day. You know, you get like 1 week off for a vacation does not reset your brain. And so all the time in your mind, it just kind of bleeds together. And I think that's why it feels like time is going by slower the older you get. If you were still doing things like that were kind of like every day was new in its own way, it probably still feel like it was going by super slow.
Yeah, mine is basically exactly the same thing, just more simplified. It's the feeling of time passing slower is just that you do more things. Right? I think this is why people like to go on vacation and go travel, because it slows down the time and lets them experience the things rather than going to a monotonous 9-to-5 job or whatever that's just so repetitive it doesn't differentiate itself from the next hour or the next day or the next week or the next month. And so everything just becomes combined in memory because there's no standout experience to separate itself from.
No
But it's basically the same theory that you have. I think that's
it's like I could remember something that happened
change. I guess you could say that.
Yeah. It's like I can remember something that happened to me earlier in the week, but I couldn't tell you if it happened on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. You know, I just know it wasn't yesterday and it wasn't today. So
don't never get interrogated by the FBI. You better have your dates right.
You been
It's
there,
coming.
Jack? That sounds like a personal experience.
That comes from those stories he was asking me about.
Yeah, no, it sounded like personal experience running with the FBI.
Of stories.
yeah.
a lot of lies. The cat of 9 lives. Yeah.
So what life are you on now? Are you on the 9th? Are you in the 8th, 7th?
Listen, I'm just getting started, cuz.
All right, cool, man. Good
I'm
for you.
just getting started.
Jennifer Florence asked, 2 kids, just getting started. Yeah, just 2. We have one that's less than 3 weeks old right now. So, well, actually, I think today's 3 weeks.
You give me time to think. The answer to that is Methuselah
Methuselah.
or Malum, whichever one it is.
It's
Methuselah or Methuselah.
I actually don't. I think
Methuselah.
it's La. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I'm going to beat his record, cuz.
yeah.
I'm going to show him.
You're gonna show him how was what? You got a long way to go, man.
No,
you're
not
100
us in time travel.
That's true. You work out 10 hours a day, the next 900 years will fly by.
Yeah.
I think I asked him that the other day, would you want to live forever? Would you want to live forever?
You're going to.
No, here. Would you want to live forever?
On Earth
Yeah.
here. Yeah, I would, because it's a day-to-day thing. It's a mental thing. If you got when you get up in the morning, if you got your head right, you can get through the rest of the day. And it's a day-by-day thing like everything else. Yeah, I can make it.
All
Yeah.
right.
The only problem is I would see that many more enemies die.
Good.
You know? I mean, if I live forever, I'm going to watch a lot of people I don't like get croak.
Ronnie Berry asked Flip Wilson. I guess that's to you. Who's Flip Wilson?
Flip Wilson said, "The devil made me do that."
Oh, the
you remember
comedian.
him?
No.
Yeah.
Remember? No, that's whatever
That's
that
a little
was is
before
way
our time.
before our time.
Flip Wilson is the one that said that, and I couldn't think his name, so thank you.
Oh yeah.
Where'd you
Rodney
get it from? On there?
Rodney did
Rodney sent it.
Oh, okay.
He sent
He's
us a
old enough
message.
to remember Flip Wilson.
So how, if you don't mind my asking, how old are you?
I'll be 78 in August. the 17th.
All right. Good for you, my man.
Yep.
78. And you've never been to the doctor?
Don't know what a doctor is other than my children now. I got doctors in my
take
family.
them to the doctor.
Yep.
Oh, your children are doctors?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Neat. What kind of doctors are they?
Give me time to think up something. It all sounded good, didn't it?
It did.
My daughter, give you a serious story. I made all my kids take piano, saxophone, all the musical instruments. And the reason for doing that is I told them if you ever get down and out someday or another in your life, you're on the street, you can take a harmonica or a saxophone and stand on the street corner with a jar and get enough money to get out of town with, get a bus ticket, food to eat. And I made all my kids take music. Because another thing, in case y'all don't know this out there in TV land, especially the piano, anything to do with a musical instrument programs your brain. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Especially piano.
Yeah.
It affects certain parts of the brain. And my kids coming from me needed all the help they could get. Brain wise. Okay. So my youngest daughter hated me because I made her take piano. Hated. All the kids hated me because of piano. Okay. Today, she is over the music department at the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Now, does she hate me as bad now?
Probably not.
Okay. See what I'm saying?
I like
kids,
discipline.
your kids hate you growing up. But when they get grown, they'll look back and say, you know, that man wasn't crazy as we thought he was. They had me all wrote off as crazy. And they were scared not to do what I told them to do. Can't you look at me and tell? Aren't you scared now?
Little bit. He's gonna jump across the table. Oh my goodness.
Jack, tell me about when you were younger. I want to reminisce about the good old days, I guess, a little bit. Is if you go outside and you go down to the gas station, is it the same as when you used to when you were 20 years old?
It was the hangout.
You used to hang out at the gas station?
Yeah. There was a lot of shooting and cutting and all. Anybody that's listening to me out there know that I'm not lying. The town I come from was a town of liquor stores and juke joints. Now, I'm not running my town down because I loved it and still do. But we lived on the North Carolina line, and North Carolina was dry, didn't have alcohol. So everybody in North Carolina come over to South Carolina. We were on the state line, a little small town, and we were full of juke joints and liquor stores. And I grew up in the juke joints. Yep. And my daddy predicted to me sitting on the front porch, always talking, giving me wise stuff to live by. He was a wise man. And one day he told me, we were talking about juke joints, he said, son, I got you wrote down on paper that 21's it for you cuz. Yep. Grew up in a juke joint. He couldn't keep me out. Well, all of us hung out at juke joint as kids. And it was vicious, you know, bad, shooting, cutting, carrying on. So that's the start off of my young life. And even before I got old enough to go to the juke joints, I had a little bit of mischievousness in me riding a tricycle. I was stealing the pies out of the next door neighbor window where they put them to cool off at. And taking them uptown and selling them.
Jack, did you serve in the military?
I went with Bill Clinton to Russia.
Okay.
Do you know the story on Bill Clinton?
About his trip to Russia?
Bill Clinton was a draft dodger.
Well, so was Donald Trump.
He went and moved to Russia. until they did away till the war ended, and he marched in Russia.
Almost all of our presidents are draft dodgers.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
I'm
you were
saying-
you told me you earlier you were raised by Vietnam veterans or something like that. What did you say?
I grew up.
Oh, you grew up with Vietnam veterans.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if he was born in *47, how could he be raised by Vietnam vets?
I don't know. Jack says crazy things, so I just
Tell
it
them
just-
what they want to hear. Instagram. I have to keep reminding y'all.
Here's what you have to understand. Jack's a politician. He's and once you're a politician, you're always going to be a politician. And when he says that line, tell them what they want to hear. That is pinnacle politician.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're good at it, Jack. Why'd you quit while you were young? It's in your blood. The politician's in your blood.
I didn't quit politics. They quit me.
That sounds like a cop out. Did you get in trouble? You ruffled too many feathers?
Yeah, no, not really,
Not
because I
really?
didn't care. Yeah, I did ruffle a lot of feathers because anytime you're against the system, you're going to ruffle.
Well, tell them about that. You ain't got a name drop or anything, but tell them when you ran for sheriff, how old were you, who you were running against? Maybe not who you were running against, but the system you were running against. And even back in the, 70s, early 70s, can you beat the system as an individual?
Well, I'll put it this way. My first experience of running for politics, I was fighting a system that was full of millionaires, we'll say. And they all love politics because that's where they got the power from. Now, my first experience of politics, can you whip the system? I didn't see one soul steal a vote from me. But our sitting governor today was the attorney general at that time when I ran, and a little after. What's our governor's name?
McMaster.
Henry McMaster.
Masters. He was the attorney general when I ran, after I ran for sheriff, and they claimed they stole it from me. He moves into our county with the SLED and the FBI investigating.
Early
elections.
80s?
Yeah. And sent all this power structure to the penitentiary. Vote by it. That was my first experience with politics. And
That would never happen today, though. They would never send SLED or anybody in, any kind of Fed in to clear the room of vote buyers. You don't think?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
No. And plus, too, there was
It ain't widespread.
a lot of money involved, you know? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Still a lot of money involved, maybe more.
Yeah.
Not just local. I'm talking about just across the board.
They got more ways to hide it now, legally. You know what I'm saying?
You think that's an exception? Dillon County in the 80s was an exception to vote buying?
We had a...
Or was it like that everywhere?
In case you're listening, Governor, I'm going to tell you just like it is.
Tag him.
I ain't beating around the bush. We had a sitting attorney general, McMasters. What was his first name?
Henry.
Henry McMasters. He was the sitting attorney general. And his eye was on the governorship. Now, when you are attorney general and you got the power of the SLED and the FBI.
How long's he been governor?
Huh?
How long's McMaster been governor? 20-something years?
He's the only governor that's ever pulled 3 terms.
I didn't know that.
He went in and took over a 2-year remaining term
Is
of
that-
somebody of who it was.
I don't actually know how long a governor can run for. Is it 2 terms?
2 terms.
It is 2 terms,
But
it's like 6
somebody
years.
is
right?
going to come on right there and tell us why he has pulled his 3rd term. He'll be pulled 2 full terms and part of another one. Now, somebody come over there, and I knew the answer one time, but I forgot. And
10
even
years.
if I knew it, I need somebody out there in TV land to write in and let us know why McMaster's is pulled over 2 terms. Maybe I know and I ain't gonna share it with you.
Jim from Florence said he's been the governor for 10 years. So he had 2 4 years and two 2 years.
He's on his.
It seems like it's been so much longer than that, man.
But let me
So
go back to the
he's been
original
governor since
story I
2015?
was telling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to the original story. In 1980, McMaster's, being the Attorney General over South Carolina, had his eye on the governorship. How do you get the fame and glory for anything other than moving into a county with all these powerful senators, the top man that got locked up, the head of the Democrat Party, mega millionaire, and it was statewide publicity, son, for 2 years. 2 years. How much more publicity would you want for governorship than for to move in a county and lock up 32 people, elected officials? I was the only elected official that didn't go to the penitentiary.
The only one.
Tell them what they want to hear. That sounds good, don't it?
Jim from Florence says he, talking about McMaster, completed the last 2 years of Nikki Haley's term after Trump appointed her to UN ambassador.
That's right. Yep. I knew that.
Yeah, that would have been 15. Dude,
I just tested
Nikki
you.
Haley's been around for a long time too, man.
What happened to her?
She bet on the wrong horse.
Yeah, but where is she and what is she doing? She disappeared.
That's a good point. Like, where is she
Somebody's
now?
going to write in and tell us.
Because she's not running for governor, and what is she now? Is she anything now?
No.
She fell out with Donald Trump, and that was it.
Right. She
'cause
bet on the wrong horse. She ran against Trump and she played the
running
more
her
centrist.
mouth.
She ran in that centrist lane and we talked about it on this show. I said, maybe not this show, but maybe another one. I said, Nikki Haley she's putting all her eggs in one basket. She's betting that Trump loses.
What was the
Not
office?
that she wins, but that Trump loses. And
What was the
she lost
office
that
that Donald Trump give to her when he won president?
ambassador to UN ambassadorship.
UN, United Nations,
I'm
ambassador
pretty sure
to the United Nations.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, she's governor of South Carolina, and then she gets an international appointed position, which doesn't make sense. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that sound like.
I
Tell
heard it
them what
was
they
a
wanna hear.
favor to McMaster.
To open up the governor seat?
Yeah,
Probably.
because he was one of the first people to publicly endorse Trump in 2015, which at that time was a big gamble, and Trump, was buddy with
Offered it to
Henry,
him, basically? Okay.
and then as a favor to him to get him to be governor, got Nikki out of there by giving her a big promotion.
A lot of handshaking into politics.
Right.
Now, let's get, if you don't mind, Zeb, let me ask you a question.
All right.
Will you explain to the general public what you do and your part in politics?
Okay. Well,
Explain to us what your livelihood is and your connection with politics.
all right. Well, I go to prominent politicians' houses in the night and kill them. I'm kidding.
You vote them absentee.
Yeah, that's good. I vote him absentee. No. I work on a radio show for the former Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina, Ken Art, and he kind of got booted out of politics. I think because for the time he was an actual decent
Question
change
before you
agent.
go any further.
Sure. What's
Who
up?
was the last lieutenant governor that will ever be elected in the state of South Carolina?
that will ever be elected?
Yeah, because we don't elect them no more. After this guy serves as lieutenant governor, we don't elect lieutenant governors no more. The governor appoints lieutenant governor.
Oh.
So who was the last elected lieutenant governor?
I assume Kennard.
Exactly.
Ah.
Okay.
I did not know that,
Yeah,
actually.
okay.
But yeah, he, so I work for his radio show, and we, you know, like I'm not directly involved in politics, but it's a political talk show. So I basically.
When you were around Ken Ard, you're involved in politics.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I've briefly spoken with Donald Trump, and by briefly I mean I picked up the phone. He said hello, and I said
And you
hello.
wanted a drunk driving ticket. You wanted a drunk driving ticket killed.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so like, you know, political talk, especially during election season, you know, South Carolina is one of the first states that declares. So a lot of like Nikki Haley called in, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Donald Trump, and we have them on to talk.
Great.
We talk politics,
That is great. Yeah.
but they're not as radical as we are here, blowing people up and stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, we're telling them what they
I
want
don't
to
know.
hear.
I don't know. They starting to blow people up too.
Fair point.
We got 2 weeks to make a decision where we nuke them or don't nuke them.
I don't think
Hey.
you understand how accurate that is. See, the Iron Dome
Yeah.
only has about 10 to 12 days left of protection, or they're going to run out of missiles to protect them. Mm-hmm. And so we have about 10 to 12 days before we have to actually make a decision or come to an agreement.
You know,
Otherwise, we are in war.
You just made me think of what I've been wondering. Where Israel is not as big as South Carolina. Am I right or wrong?
Israel is Middle Eastern New Jersey.
That's what they
Okay.
say. And New Jersey's
It's about
smaller.
the same size.
Since
it's
they
slightly.
started with Hamas, shooting missiles at Hamas, and all this shooting and tanks and bullets and everything else they'll shoot. Where have they got room to store all this junk, man?
Somebody up here asked, I think it was Mr. Jefferson right here. He asked, is the old man into conspiracy theories? So let me ask you this. Do you believe in, they're called DUMBs. They're defensive, I think it's defensive, underground military bunkers. I mean, other than warehouses, probably in their little cave tunnels because they like to dig tunnels.
Don't read too much into
That
that.
proves, you know what
Yeah, you
that
can.
proves?
You can read all into it you want.
That they're nothing but rats.
Oh my God.
Hey, in Vietnam, there'd be 10,000 gooks of y'all. We go after them, and you run over where they at, go shoot them, and there ain't none there. They all went in the hole.
We're cooked, chat. We're
Nothing
cooked.
but rats, son. Goot rat.
Oh,
I'm telling you, boys, I've been through it.
Yeah. Were you in Vietnam?
Sounds good.
tell them what they want to hear. Oh boy, this is a strain today. Oh man.
Every set of goat ears I used to bring to the sergeant, I got a pay raise.
Yeah, dumps
Did
are
you
real
hear
pictures.
that?
What do you say?
He goes every
You got a
set
pay
of
raise? Oh.
No, he says every set of gookie.
You had to
Said I
bring
brought-
two. You couldn't bring one.
Right, the whole set.
Yeah, you had,
Okay,
because
yeah.
they were going to reuse them. Guinea pigs.
Right.
Oh boy.
Okay, what was your question now?
It was kind of rhetorical. The
Conspiracy
dumb.
theory.
Yeah, well, I was asking. Somebody asked you if you're into conspiracy theories. He's not as he. I don't know if you can tell because he's kind of going off this podcast, and I'm gonna let him go. But Jack's not as conspiratorial as he looks like he is.
Question about
Answer about that.
Question about
Answer
your
about.
conspiracy theory. How do we even know, us taxpayers out there and us big dummies? How do we even know there's a mountain in Iran.
Have you been there? Have you been there?
There's nothing but desert. I ain't seen no mountain.
It's a good point.
I ain't seen no mountain either.
Conspiracy
I ain't never
theory.
been.
Huh?
I ain't never been. Closest I got was Suez Canal, and I got to see Egypt and Saudi Arabia. You know what I saw there? Nothing.
Nothing.
Dirt.
I ain't wanting to go.
Sand. Forever.
That's the way all them Arab
It was
countries
nothing,
is.
dog.
Come
there
on,
was
man.
nothing there. We went through the Suez Canal. Well, there was like one little town city. All it was cement brick buildings that were halfway constructed. No windows, no doors, just holes in the wall. People running around living there, got towels, rags hanging up on clotheslines. It was probably maybe a city of like 500 people. Other than that, dirt.
Question.
Everywhere.
Question. I'm going to run it by you. Something I always wondered.
Okay.
The Almighty Creator, God, creator of heaven and earth, and man, animals, everything that exists, he created. Now, when he created him a homeland, he put it in Israel. Why would God? You ever been to Colombia, South America, Hawaii, how beautiful it is, the jungle look? No. Why wouldn't God put it in the jungle, Hawaii, instead
give
of
them a second
out
Eden?
in the middle of the desert? There ain't no water out there. You got to dig a hole 5 miles deep to get a drink of water.
The same reason he chose the Jews to start with. He wanted a challenge.
That's a good answer.
It's as
There you
good
go.
as the conspiracy theory about there ain't no mountains in Iran.
I haven't seen one
I ain't
because I
seen
haven't.
no mountain.
I ain't been there.
Okay.
Have you? But have you been there? Been there?
What's that
Okay.
from?
Bean.
What's that from?
Okay.
Douglas Murray's
Oh,
interview with Joe
yeah,
Rogan
yeah,
and
yeah.
Dave. What's Dave Smith? He's actually
Yeah.
been popping off lately, though, dude. I might have to retract my
Douglas Murray?
no, Dave Smith.
Oh, Dave Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna
Let's
say.
play like I'm a Democrat.
Okay, you
Okay.
are.
Let's play like I'm a Democrat.
Tell me you weren't a Democrat.
I have been a
Okay,
Democrat.
thank you.
Okay.
Once a Democrat, always a Democrat. Deport him.
I'll go.
As long as you can go to Colombia or Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, give me the jungle.
Okay.
Yeah, I love mosquitoes. Boy, you made me think forget what I was going to say.
It'll be all right. It'll
John
come back around.
Brown.
You got plenty. You got plenty. That's what I said, right? Douglas Murray, Dave Smith. Yeah.
Have you been there?
Seth Trooper, welcome to the chat, brother. Canaan used to be much more garden-like, land of milk and honey, giant grapes, giant people. Yeah, I think so too. See, and if you read into the Septuagint, it gives you the lineage of Job, and it alludes to the idea that Job was the king of Canaan, which is why they didn't allow Moses into the land. Job rejected Moses and the people to enter the land of milk and honey. That's the idea. I've said that on the show before, probably a couple episodes ago. But yeah, basically, okay. There's a conspiracy theory for you. Do you believe giants existed?
Here's my belief on that. If King James book says it, I believe it.
All right.
I think that answers the question to a lot of the other conspiracy theories along the way. Boomers are gonna boom, boys. It is what it is. Stick to what you know. Stick to what you know.
Yep.
Don't question it. Never question it. Anyway, I'm just giving you a hard time, Jack. Oh, where are we at? Picture says Eden was between four rivers in what we call Iraq. If you follow what the Old Testament says, and Abraham called from that area, from the city of Ur.
I think that
Debatable. Where
that
Eden
Eden
was.
is actually at the bottom of the Mediterranean.
I think Eden's at the North Pole.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. You think?
I mean, I don't actually think that, but I mean, I think there's just as much validity there as any other place that Eden may be.
Well, I mean, the verse where it says it meets at the headwaters of the Tigris, Euphrates, and the two others, I can't remember. I don't think that's at the North Pole.
Why not?
Because those rivers don't go there.
Why would the rivers remain the same after the flood?
I mean, I would assume they were talking about the rivers as they were at the time of writing.
No, they would be talking about them as they were at the time of existence.
How do you get all them animals on that boat?
2 by 2. 1 step at a time.
Literally. Boy, that had to be a big boat. Now, speaking spiritually, they didn't even have to be on a boat. We're dealing with a powerful God. They could have been floating, above the boat or whatever.
Well, I would think because
I'm not going to ask that.
what?
It ain't funny, boy. This is serious stuff.
I'll hold it. We'll Josh, you got that? We'll pocket it for later. Go ahead, finish the conversation.
I was just going to say, I think God wanted to, it's not that God couldn't make new animals or anything. He wanted to test Noah's faith. Have him build a boat. How embarrassing would that be if he spent all his time and money building a boat and then nothing happened, If it was just like, hey Noah, by the way, I'm just going to give you and a bunch of animals the power of flight until the waters subside. And he didn't even have to flood. He could have just killed all the people,
Yeah, he didn't have to have a flood.
I think he was, washing away the sins and testing Noah's faith at the same time.
Show you how powerful he is.
Exactly.
You got 2 snakes in the jungle, and we out in the middle of the desert building a boat. How's them 2 snakes going to get all the way from over yonder across that water in a jungle to wherever the boat was at?
I don't know. You'll have to ask God one day.
Well, power of God. The book plainly tells you. They came.
Yeah.
They came to the boat on Rome. How'd they get there?
Well, it took them 120 years to build the boat, so they had time to slither their way over there.
Slither their way in.
Yeah.
Like the Democrats.
Yep.
Boy, that ain't funny.
No, you're right.
It ain't funny, man. They slither their way in there. They got this nation. Can Donald Trump pull it out? Can he pull it out? Can he put us back where we were at?
Do you think he can?
When you trying to go back to, Jack? The 50s?
We talking about no more aliens in the country. Democrat judges. You got to overcome them.
Oh, yeah, non-Americans? Non-American judges?
No, they illegal aliens.
Yeah.
They got to go.
They got to go.
Deport.
Yeah.
Yeah, they out of here.
And the regular aliens, too.
We're going to deport a lot of people.
Yeah, I think so,
Human
too.
beings. I think Donald Trump needs to deport everybody, including him and his own family, to another country and leave nobody here but me. I can handle it. I can run this country, the world, this nation. If I'm here by myself.
The United States of Jack.
Well, there's a lot of wisdom.
Jack Rock.
That doesn't make any sense. But if you think about it, the less amount of people that are here, the more coherent, the more homogenous of people, the easier it is to run.
Well, I ain't got to
So
pay.
if you take out all the outliers, all the people that don't belong, then it's just an easier system in itself.
I don't have to pay taxes to anybody but me.
Yeah.
That makes it easier.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just extend that to your family.
No, they got to go. They deported. No more kin people.
I'm okay with that.
Listen to this right here, what I was taught when I was a kid. Stay just as far away from your kin people as you can, and you will be a happy human being.
What do you think about that, Zeb?
Get them out of here
I blank. What'd he say?
He said, stay away from your kin people.
and be happy.
Well, Jack just wants to stay away from everybody. This is why Jack went homeless for like 5 years or something, went and lived in the woods by himself.
I used to be an extrovert. I turned into an introvert.
Jack just don't like people, if you can't tell.
Well, really, I took care.
No. The people left him. He didn't leave the people, right?
Maybe, let me explain that.
All right.
Just in case y'all don't know.
Did you say you used to be an extrovert, now you're an introvert?
An
Jack,
extrovert is
you go
somebody
and
that
dance.
is outgoing and love people. Am I right? The
I think
definition
it's-
is right. Right.
Someone who's not afraid to be a little volumetric and share their opinions, be
And
themselves.
kick ass if you have to.
Yeah.
Okay. An introvert stays at home by herself and don't want nothing. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. Y'all got it straight. All right. Here's how I become an introvert. Just in case you won't know.
You are not an introvert.
Let me tell you.
Jack goes out literally every weekend at a minimum and just dances in front of crowds of people. He's not an introvert. Don't let him trick you.
I took care of where it started at. I used to be an extrovert. You ought to see me before I become an introvert.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, uncontrollable. But I took care of a shut-in for 5 years. Let nobody help me, nobody show up, nothing. Overprotective, and I become an introvert, staying at home by myself. It'll happen to you. And you come to the state to where you don't want anything to do with another human being. And what I said, deport everybody but me. That's an introvert state. You know what I'm saying?
I'm an introvert then.
Yeah, get rid of everybody but me. Hey, your wife and kids, you don't know what they're going to be like no way. They might grow up to be a drug addicts. You want them gone. You don't want to take a chance.
Just get rid of everybody.
Just get
The United States of Jack Rock.
My daddy asked me one time, he said, why would you do what you done? Man, you were taking a chance. I said, Daddy, don't never forget Columbus took a chance.
Hey, that's a good way to
See
think.
how flat that is? He was supposed to fall off the end of the earth.
That's right.
A lot of y'all that don't know Columbus, hey, he took a chance, bud.
What was he like?
What was he like?
Yeah.
Let me tell you what kind of personality he had.
Okay.
The Queen of England wanted him gone so bad, she financed him and gave him the boat to go with to America.
All right.
That's how bad
Get
she
him-
wanted him gone.
She wanted him off the earth.
Hey, this is one. They had a meeting. Said, how can we get rid of Columbus? He was part of the system. They didn't like him. He was like me, kind of a weirdo.
Right.
So they colluded every day to how to get rid of Columbus. And here he shows up one day wanting money and a boat to go discover America. They said, hey, we got him now. He's going to fall off the deep end, cuz. We got him. They had a party. They had a dance at North Myrtle Beach on the street. I went.
They beat him. They beat him here to
Yeah.
go to a party at North Myrtle.
And that is History 101 with Jack Rock, the guy
like
that was
it.
there.
I like it.
Oh, Columbus.
Oh, boy. Pick just asked, where did I get that large slab of wood behind Jack? Where'd it come from? Looks like it would make a good table. Yes, a massive slab of cypress that I bought. I was going to convert it
Tell
into
him that's my face.
It is your face. They're about the same color.
They got a slab
That's
of
just the rest of him, you know?
It just don't have ears on it.
I had to cut it down to about 6 foot. It was 11 foot 6 inches. That whole slab, I cut it in half. It used to be twice as big as that. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's the one you had out on the wall.
V's behind. You got to catch up, big dog, brother. He's behind probably what, 15 minutes?
Something like that, yeah. He messaged Haley currently working for Hudson Institute conservative think
Oh yeah,
tank.
we never followed up with Nikki Haley.
Well, now we know.
Miss Nimrata.
Nimrata Rwanda.
Somebody else said something about Nikki Haley too.
I think it was her name. It was like Nimrata Rawandawa.
She's in the back of an Escalade with Will folks.
With what kind of folks?
I think that's somebody's
Will
name.
folks. That's what is his name? I don't know that dude.
I'm surprised she's not on tour with Vivek Ramaswamy. You know those Indians, they like to stick together.
They were throwing shade at each other in those debates almost 2 years ago.
Set up.
I agree.
Set up. I think Vivek's entire purpose. Vivek's entire purpose was to be a stand-in for Trump, essentially, I think, in those debates because Trump wasn't there. And so it was to engage an audience.
People get to be entertained and watch it, and Vivek gets his name out there.
Vivek is the clown for the circus if Rome had the circus. If that makes give them bread and circuses and they'll never revolt. Vivek was putting on the show.
You know what's crazy is I never thought like to me, I don't know how you can't think that J.D. Vance is a plant when you realize one of his sons' name is Vivek or Vivek.
Well, his wife is Indian.
Well, yeah, and that's what I thought too. I was like, well, Vivek is a popular name. Is named after Vivek Ramaswamy.
Is he actually named after?
They were like
I know they
roommates.
were college. They were roommates in college.
Doesn't that kind of tell
my
you
Indian
something?
friend has his name Vivek too. So I think that's like an
That's what I
extremely
thought.
common
it's
name.
It's a common name, but they said they named him after Vivek.
Oh,
Ramaswamy.
they said he was named after Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah,
that's weird.
That is weird. And like the weird thing
That's
about
really
it
weird,
is if they
actually.
know each other. It's like these two guys. Like now he's the VP. That guy ran for president. And they were college roommates. You don't think that's a little fishy? Like if
that's weird.
If we all of a sudden were running in different avenues of politics at the same time, it's like it kind of proves.
I mean, I'm not going to name my baby Josh.
Put that out there.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Conspiracy theory, son. You hitting it on the head. Yeah, conspiring. Isn't it against the law to conspire?
Isn't it against them?
No, isn't it against the law to conspire? Conspiracy?
Oh,
Depends on what you're conspiring against or for.
Yeah.
I mean, you get charged all the time for conspiracy, you know, conspiring to
RICO
do
charges?
this or that or the other.
You're right.
Jack, you ever been called on a RICO charge? RICO case? You know what RICO is?
No.
The conspiracy to, was it?
I think it's just a conspiracy to commit another crime. You know, like if you can prove that there's a sort
You're
of...
caught in your premeditation of the crime.
Colluding is in... You collude to
right.
commit conspiracy. You got to collude before you conspire.
Yeah. If the three of us are in some kind of organization and Zeb commits a crime, but because we're like tied to him, they can arrest us too. They can
I'm
charge
gonna
us
let
with
you
that
know
crime.
ahead of time. I'm working a deal, son.
Oh.
I'm cutting a deal.
Let me get a
kind of
piece
deal?
of it.
Yeah.
Is it the bed sheet thing we talked about? Is that the
We better leave that alone right now. We on live.
Yeah, they're gonna be getting
Leave the
stealing our
bad shit
idea.
alone. We get a little nasty there.
Damn man, I wish we had caught that on air. That was funny. That was funny.
That joker gonna get rich off of this meeting. He got him a new patent. Oh, you look good on here, son. Don't you?
Hey, you're not so bad yourself.
I mean, you look like you're about 200 pounds lighter.
I am.
I mean, look how slim your face is.
Used to be 400.
Come over
Got a
here.
little extra skin, yeah.
Come over here and sit here and see if it makes any difference on your looks. I think you're sitting one-sided and they cutting half of you off.
I can turn this way. Is that?
No, you look better.
Oh, my God.
Maybe you look better if you turn your head all the way around.
All the way to. I'm not gonna read into that.
I'll put what I'm getting to. My butt looks better than my face.
Oh, okay, all right.
Dude, nobody will disagree with that out there in TV land.
Oh, that is funny.
Boy, y'all are exhausting, son. I'm exhausted.
What you talking
my
about?
cheeks hurt from smiling the whole time.
I can hardly
What else
tell
we
with all
got to
that
talk about? We
mustache.
ain't even talked about Trump really bombing, nuking the place yet.
Let's go back and blow somebody up.
All right, let's blow somebody up.
Well, let's collude and conspire.
So this is what I heard.
Wait, no, not us. We're gonna talk about
Yeah, we're going to talk about other people doing it.
yeah.
So this is what I heard. There's debate going on right now because everyone's talking about these bunker busting bombs to blow up the mountain. And there's debate on whether or not those will even work because they're 20-year-old bombs, and they basically theorize that the mountain base was built with those bombs in mind. So they're not even sure if it'll do the job. And it's definitely going to take more than one if they do. So I forget who it was, but someone was basically speculating that what they might have to do is use one or two of the bunker busters to open up the pathway for them to drop a nuke in the hole and blow it up and cave in the facility. And the Pentagon came out and said, no, we're not doing that. And then within 24 hours, they said, it's on the table. Nothing's off the table.
Donald Trump said, never say never. You remember that statement?
I do.
Who did he tell that to?
Hillary?
Ever who the leader of Canada is when he said, you ain't taking us? Donald Trump said, he said, you'll
How
never.
did we go from talking about Canada's going to be the 51st state to World War III in Iran?
Because
in a matter of a month.
Because Canada's where I'm going to send most of y'all sorry butt to.
I'd rather go to Canada than Mexico.
Yeah. Let me
Where
ask
do
y'all-
I want to be deported
Let
to?
me ask you another
Yeah, where you
thing.
deporting him? Because you deport him to Canada or Mexico, he's going to come back.
Let me ask you something. You up to
Hungry?
date on everything.
Deport me
You're
to Hungary.
well-read. You're a well-read person, and you look intelligent. So a big dummy like me, nothing racist. Everything's racist this day and time. Now, there ain't nothing racist about this question.
Yeah, we don't have anything racist on
Somebody
this show.
answer it.
No racist stuff on this
No
show.
All right.
racist. This ain't racist.
No racism.
But it's got. The question is about race. If you don't like it, lump
That's
it.
racist.
Okay. Question.
Answer.
Ukraine and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't there ain't no black people there?
Because they control their borders. And they didn't have induced slavery 400
Talk
years
into
ago.
that microphone because your answer's real good. Tell it again.
They didn't
What you-
introduce slavery from the sub-Saharan part of Africa 400 years ago, and they control their borders.
Control the borders.
Well, it's two-ply. First of
Yeah.
all, you have the introduction of slavery into the United States via
The transatlantic
them boys,
slave- yeah.
and then you have open borders that aren't enforced. And so Europe didn't have slavery like we do, but they still have open borders to the point where they've been overrun from overthrowing or Mussolini not stopping the invasion that he predicted prior to the war.
How many people,
The
how many
coup, if
human
you will.
beings do they say that Mussolini murdered, ever what you want to call it, in his tenure as leader of Russia?
Mussolini was Italy.
Italy. You talking about Stalin?
Stalin, I meant.
60 million, I think they say. 60 to 100 million.
Something like that.
Isn't that a lot of human beings? You could fill up a ball field with that, couldn't you?
You fill up a couple.
I mean, it's a lot.
That's a lot of human beings.
That's a third of our population. Or a fourth.
And did you know that him and Hitler
100
could
60 million? So 100
100
million?
million.
is
I don't think we know how many people are in America.
Yeah. That's the
They
established
say
number.
330. I say it's
I've
north
always
of
heard
400.
400.
I say it's north of 400.
400 is what I've always heard.
You can't get these people to wake up, much less fill out a census. And then you're just
you
guessing
look good
from
in
there.
that picture, don't you? You need to sit here day and night looking at yourself.
Oh, this guy. You're funny.
No wonder Wendell got you on this show.
Jack, you don't think he's got a voice for radio and a face for
A
a voice
now?
for TV and a face for radio? You don't think Josh got a face for radio?
Me?
No, Josh.
He looking good on there.
Oh,
I don't know
Lord.
what the audience is saying about him, but he's a good looking guy.
Well, they look at him 3 hours a day, so
Oh, really?
It can't be too
Every
bad.
day?
They better.
about.
They better. I like that. Yeah, y'all better be watching him.
All right, let's. The question was asked earlier about conspiracy theories. What conspiracy theories do you believe in, Jack?
I've never even thought about it.
Name one, Josh. Let's pick one.
That's
That's not going to get us in trouble.
I got one. They knew FDR knew about Pearl Harbor and they let it happen so that we could get into the war. You think that there's some validity to that?
If I'm one of them soldiers got blowed up, I'm coming out of you, cuz.
You're gonna push him out of his wheelchair.
How many people died in that Hawaii bombardment?
I actually don't know off the top of my head. What was it? It was a couple thousand, wasn't it? It was a lot.
Pearl Harbor?
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
How many people died from the bomb being dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Or
Nagasaki. I don't know.
200,000.
Each or all together?
Sounds good. There's somebody out there knows the answer to them two questions. How many died at Pearl Harbor? How many died from the atomic bomb? How many bombs were dropped?
2.
2. Yep.
Pearl Harbor was about 2,400.
All right.
In Japan. 2 million military deaths. From
You know the bad part about smartphone. I can't tell a lie no more.
Jack wasn't that far off. An estimated of estimated of 140,000 people in Hiroshima and 74,000 in Nagasaki. What's that put you at?
It was
Two-
over
214?
200? Yeah, you were pretty on the dot.
I've always been accused of being highly intelligent.
I believe it. I believe it. I'm surprised you didn't walk in here with a lab coat on.
They'd have blown me up, thought I was a newt scientist.
yeah, well, that's why you know.
Yeah, I look like an Arab anyway. All I got to do is tie a diaper around my head.
A diaper.
Put a diaper on my head. Hey, I'm one of them John Brown newt guys.
John, you're the only ever person I've ever heard say John Brown was Ken Ard.
You'll
John
tell
Brown.
you
That's
why.
a boomer. That's a boomer thing.
It's a Southern boomer.
Have you
thing.
ever looked John Brown up?
No.
Okay, look him up sometime. He was.
I don't want to look him up. Tell us.
Yeah. What's the story?
The world's curious right now.
I don't
Jack.
know who John Brown is.
I don't give a John Brown. That's how I've always heard it.
He looks he looked like Abraham Lincoln. He existed 50 years. I'm telling you the best I recollect now.
Okay.
But it's been a long time. I lived way back then. But he was what do you call one of these people that's John Brown? What you call one of these people that's anti-racist back yonder when
Liberals, progressives.
no.
Yankee?
John Brown. Why
Anti-racist.
come I can't think of it?
A liberationist?
You close to it.
Something like that?
Can't think. Anyway, John
Archaeologian?
Brown, about 50 years before Lincoln became president, somebody's going to turn in and tell me what he was.
If Pictus is still here, he'll have an answer for you.
But he existed about, best I remember in my studies, he existed about 50 years before Lincoln became president. He went around killing all the slave owners, freeing the slaves. And he even looked like, with his pictures that I seen, looked like Abraham Lincoln. You know, he could have went for his brother easy.
Okay.
Know? So, not an anarchist, but what?
Abolitionist.
Abolitionist.
There you go.
Somebody.
Chat covering for you over here. Abolitionist.
Who was that?
You got two of them, Jim from Florence and then the Lord of the Ree. Chat's on top of it. Abolitionist.
Thank you. Abolitionist. Have you ever heard of that before?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
So he was killing slave owners to free the slaves, and he was a white dude.
And they hung him on
And
the courthouse grounds.
so where does the expression come from? Because he just,
It's an expression that the old people used when I was coming up. Now, it probably existed, no telling how long before I come along.
sure.
But if you hit your finger with the hammer to keep from going to hell, you said John Brown. It was an expression. When you do something wrong, like when I couldn't think of abolitionists, I said John Brown instead of cursing.
Oh, I
It's
see.
an expression to keep from using a curse word.
That makes it, because on
In
the
other
radio,
words, I had a young guy at work one time to ask me, he said, what's the difference between you using John Brown's name and using God's name in vain? I said, well, I'm going to keep using John Brown. You use God.
yeah,
So,
we'll see.
so end of story.
So why John Brown specifically?
I don't even know that the John Brown that we're talking about, abolitionists, even got anything to do with the expression John Brown.
Okay, because
understand
what
what?
I thought, this is what I thought, because my boss says it on the radio, because on radio you can't say bad words. So in place of saying, oh shit, he says, or like, I don't give a John Brown, or John Brown, you know? And I thought it just meant brown, like poop. That's what I thought it was, you know?
So
I just
you
don't
tell
give a John
Kennard,
Brown.
when you see him again,
Yeah.
John Brown. Tell him you run into his John Brown brother.
I'll tell him, man.
So we got all our audience gonna go to heaven now because you ain't gonna cuss no more.
That's right.
You're going to say what?
John Brown.
John Brown.
I like it.
Yeah. Cut your finger off if you say John Brown.
You're Jack Brown, because you're so tan.
My mama was black, man.
Oh, okay.
Don't get racist on me.
I won't. I'm an abolitionist.
Free me. Pay my bills.
I'll get right on that.
Hey, don't free me if you ain't gonna pay the house off.
All right.
That was a switch up real quick,
Hey.
son.
I got a 4-wheel drive, King Cab, $150,000. Don't be freeing me unless you're gonna take that.
All right.
Yeah, you take that payment up. Yeah. That's what I come with being free.
So he tells me about you. And he goes, you know, Zeb, he's kind of quiet. He goes, Jack's a character. That's all he says. I'm like, okay. You know, like, because I'm thinking Kennard. I think Kennard's a character. You're a next level. You're like your own story. You know what I mean? You're like
Crazy character.
right.
I mean, look at that face, man. Like, what do you expect?
That used to be a good looking face, son.
What happened to it?
Hey, way back yonder, long time ago, if you'd have been a queer, you'd have wanted a date with me.
Oh, Lord. Were there any queers back in the day?
No. No.
None?
I'm telling you, I was a grown man. I didn't even know what the definition of a queer was. I thought they was talking about the Dairy Queen. I thought they had pronunciation wrong. No, they weren't no queer. Sodom and Gomorrah, when they took the big bomb, Sodom and Gomorrah took the nuke.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that done away with the queers until the, 70s or 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, they started coming back. So it's time for the big nuke again.
Do you think people choose to be gay, or are they born gay, or does something happen to them?
Let me tell you something. Good question.
'Kay.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
I love people. I really do. I love being around people and talking like we're doing now.
Right.
And I figure people and I study people and I look at them. I look at their bodies, what we could do to that body. But when it comes to a queer, I ain't figured that out yet. And let me tell you something else.
Yeah.
God ain't figured it out either. That's why he dropped the nuke.
Right.
He said, I made them. I created them. And I can't understand it. I can't understand it. I made them in my image. And I can't handle it. I don't know. I've tried to figure it out.
That's a take there.
I don't think there's no answer to what you ask. You know? I mean,
he does call it an abomination.
That's right.
Almost like he can't define it. It's just evil, like we talk about using language.
let me tell you
I'm not going to
something.
say you can't understand it, but yeah.
Let me tell you something that'll blow your mind if you really stop when you're reading the scriptures and study it. Lot had two of the most beautiful women in them two cities. There were two cities, Sodom and Gomorrah. He had the two beautifulest daughters that there were, and he was a rich man. He offered them people his daughters, but leave the angels alone. They didn't know they were angels. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Now, question spiritually. Why did God turn Lot's wife to a pillar of salt?
She disobeyed.
In what way?
He said, "Don't look back."
Why did he not want her to look back?
They were escaping the degeneracy.
Yeah.
She didn't want to leave. They
Right.
were the richest people in town. They had it made. She looked back. God always tells us, don't look back on sin. Once you leave it, drugs.
Leave it back.
Drugs is a good example of
Yeah.
what he was talking about. Once you leave drugs, don't you be looking back at it. My daddy taught me one time. Now, y'all listen to this out there in TV land, young people, because the old people already know this. But my daddy taught me how to plow a mule. There weren't no tractors was just coming in when I was a kid. We had mules. And my daddy taught me how to plow a mule. He put me out there. He hooked up the plow, showed me how to put the bits in the mouth, the horse collar, hook up the chains, the plow to the mule trace chains. That's what they were called, trace chains. And he took that mule out there, and you had the rows, plowing the cotton or whatever, corn, whatever. You had to turn the dirt over to get the grass to die. So what he done, he took that mule out there, and you had plow lines, and they were hooked to the bits, as all of you out there know, but some of you might be female, not be experienced with horses and stuff. But the two plow lines run from the bits to the plow. And they had hooks made, loops made, so you could wrap the rope, plow lines, in your hands and hold the plow at the same time. And you had the plow line in your hand, holding the handles to the plow, like this. And my daddy told me, once you get that mule lined up close to the row of corn, whatever you're plowing, don't never look back. Because when you look back, you're doing what? You're pulling the mule over with the plow lines. You're pulling the mule over into the row of corn, cotton, whatever you plow it. Now, the moral of the story is, in life, don't never look back. You'll mess up everything in front of you looking at what you've done in the past. So keep your eye on the road.
I like it.
Yeah. Words of wisdom from Jack Handy.
Jack,
Jack Handy.
So you telling me
That's good.
that tractors didn't exist when you were growing up?
Yes, they did. But
Y'all were poor.
Nothing but wealthier landowners
Could
when I
afford
was
it.
coming along had the tractor. Now, we got our first tractor in 1950, the early 50s.
Who was picking the strawberries and the cotton before the tractors around here?
Illegal immigrants.
In the 40s and 50s?
Tell them what they want to hear. Just whatever comes to your mind first, say it. You can
Illegal
apologize later.
immigrants. I like it.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say that. I give a bunch of figures one time for the county council. Oh, man, they were arguing this, and that, and the other. I stood up with a piece of paper and I said, ladies and gentlemen, forget what you're arguing about. I got the correct numbers here. I read out a bunch of numbers. Everybody was happy. They clapped. I had the final figures. There weren't nothing wrote on that paper. True story.
That's good.
You tell them what they want to hear. Boy, they love me. I was an auditor. Yeah, take my word.
You were an auditor giving them fake numbers.
Yeah, well, no, they weren't fake. I didn't lie. They weren't nothing on there. I was just talking. I was just saying.
They weren't.
How can you tell a lie when you're reading it off and there ain't nothing on there?
That
Hey.
may be the greatest gymnastics,
Hey.
the greatest mental gymnastics I've heard in a long time.
Hey,
No
man, he
saying.
can do it. Look at these arms, man.
Hey,
Look
the
at 'em.
old saying is, I hope McClure ain't lying. That's what you say when you go before the grand jury. Hope McClure ain't lying. That's old. You ever heard that one? Hope McClure.
No.
I don't even know what it means, but they
Hope,
said it.
hope and declare I ain't
Hope
lying.
McClure.
Hope McClare.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's
I
what
hope
it is.
McClure ain't lying.
I don't think that's
In
what
other
it is.
words, that's slang for I swear I ain't lying. But did you know the FBI, if they come in and they interview you or any law agent, they teach them at the school, anytime a man raises his hand and says, I ain't lying, he lied. So
I ain't lying.
make sure you don't say, hold your hand up when you say you ain't lying. Because you're trying to convince yourself.
Jack, we got about 30 minutes or so. Anything else you want to kind of tell us some stories about?
Great job,
Josh, you got any
man.
questions for Chad? You got any questions for
They-
Jack before we bounce out of here?
Let me tell you.
I'm not letting him back in. I'm not letting him back on
They
screen.
are so many
Just kidding.
stories up there in that computer that when I wake up in the morning and I'm laying there in that bed, you ever heard tell of overthinking?
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the movies, back in my day when you went to the movie theater, you had to film on reel,
Right.
the big old reel.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'd mess up and the reel would start flipping and going backwards and showing pictures backwards and forward. You know,
Yeah.
that's my head when I'm laying in the bed in the morning after waking up and I'm just laying there relaxing. The John Brown film gets mixed up. The reel gets loose and turns wide open. Man, it's all them stories up there just running wild, man. So what do I do about it? I get up and go get a cup of coffee and a cigarette.
And you think about
All right.
blowing people up because we going to war.
No, blowing up don't come till somebody pisses you off.
Jack, you said in this podcast you want to deport everybody except yourself, and then about 5 minutes later you said, I love everybody.
I love everybody.
But they just can't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you.
I mean, that's
Let
valid.
me give you a good example. I love you, Zeb, and you know it. Okay, we'll use Rodney for example.
Yeah.
Rodney Bear, one of our cohorts in crime. I love Rodney. You know why?
Why is that?
Because he ain't here with us. He's gone.
You love people more when they're away.
Ain't we getting along good with Rodney right now?
Dude,
How can you not love Rodney right now?
That's
unflawed logic here. Unflawed logic.
He's
I love
got a
everybody.
point.
They just need to stay in
Away
Israel. They just
from
need
me.
they just need to stay where they belong. I agree. I agree, Jack. I agree.
Here's where I
100%.
really love people.
uh-huh.
And it's going to cover all your out there in TV land and Zeb and you. I forgot your name.
Josh.
Josh. That comes with old age. Josh. I'm just joshing y'all.
You got
You
the
ever
old
heard
timers.
that one?
I have heard that.
I am. That's how I'm going to remember your name. I was just joshing.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Nobody knows, Jack. I don't even think you know.
Do you remember what I was saying before you so rudely interrupted me with Josh? Huh? Oh, when we're into Rodney.
Yeah. How we love him because he's not here.
Love him. Now, let me tell all of you out there where you're at. You say, well, Jack Rock's crazy. What he's saying is crazy. Okay, let me give you a good example. I love all of y'all to death where you're at. And let me tell you how I'm going to love you 10 times more than I already love you.
Lord.
Send cash.
Send cash. Pay for your house.
Hey, send cash and stay away from me. Just send it to my bank account. And maybe send it to Zeb. He needs the money. He just had 2 new young'uns. Feel sorry for him.
He's got he needs some baby money.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
diapers, God gracious. Have any of y'all seen the price of diapers
I
and
just steal 'em.
bed pads? Come on, Josh. Tell them to send cash.
How much are diapers?
Tell Donald Trump we want lower gas prices and lower diaper prices.
Just reuse them.
Jim from Florence asked, tell us more about your sheriff campaign.
Do what now?
Tell us more about your sheriff campaign.
Great dialogue. Hey, after it was over with, I'm going to share y'all the end of the story. They say, I didn't see them steal nothing. I ain't going back before the grand jury and testifying again about it. But I ain't seen nobody stealing their vote. Okay, they say they stole it from me. Well, after the election, a little old young kid running for sheriff almost whipped the system, and them they owned every precinct. And stealing didn't scare that crowd none at all. And their prison sentence proved it. But after the election, they almost lost and stealing all the votes they could. So they say that'll keep me out of the grand jury.
All right.
They say. All right. So let's say they did steal it. Well, 2 nights after the votes were counted, guess who calls me at 2:00 in the morning? You asked for this, now I'm going to give it to you. And I hope McClure ain't lying. And the ones involved, all of them's dead, so they can't call me a liar. So, that's how long I've lived, y'all. I outlive your enemies. You tell it like
There
you
you
want
go.
to.
There you
But I hope McClure.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to have to spell McClure.
All right. I won't ask.
But I got a call at 2:00 in the morning, and the powers to be had a spokesperson. They wanted to meet with me at the courthouse in the dark. Didn't even have street lights back then. And so, me being the idiot I am and not scared of the devil, I said, yeah, I'll go meet with y'all. So they told me where to meet me at the courthouse. We talking about 2:00 in the morning now with a bunch of gangsters, okay? Mm-hmm. Just stole a sheriff's race from me. They say, D-E-Y, they. Okay. So I go there and meet with them, and these mega millionaires and power people that I fought during that sheriff's race, the main one with the big cash, he's dead and gone, but he knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
anyway, he's doing all the talking because he's got all the power and he's going to do this. Well, anyway, they're making me, and it's a long story, but I'm going to cut it short. They're making me this. I'm a young, good-looking guy, son. Hey, I really love myself. I look good, son. Dressed sharp. Had them all fooled into thinking I had a little dust. Me drawing unemployment running for sheriff. So that's how much money I had. Well, anyway, you fake it till you make it. So I was faking it. So anyway, they make me this offer, this offer, this offer, and this offer. And when they get through, the big man doing all the talking with the power and the money, the most money, all of them had money, and all of them had power. But this guy was the Donald Trump. And when he got through, he asked me, he said, now, that's an offer you cannot refuse, young man. We need you and you need us. And he was right. But, he said, what's your comment about the offer I made to you, that we made to you? I backed up and thought, and just to give y'all an example of what kind of person I was, especially when I was young, and I'm still like this. I backed up. And I come back to his face like that right there, and I said, you can take your offer and cram it up your ass, and walked off. Now, them four guys were riding together. What were they talking about? I was 26 years of age at that time. What were those grown, rich people saying about me after they got in the car?
They're going to find you a plane ticket somewhere.
Deport,
yeah. They might make you go find that alligator you opened his mouth open.
Stretch his mouth open. Boy, you can't forget the alligator.
Mr. Jefferson said, since you're so fond of the gays, do you think they should be able to adopt?
Babies.
Really, I cut up a lot and everything, but that's way out on the boys. Yeah. Hey, I love gays just as much as I do y'all two guys. And y'all might be gay, I don't know, but you don't act like you ain't made no move toward me. But I love the gays, really. I got a lot of friends gays, but when it comes to all that stuff, but you know what my answer. Everyone who asked that knew my answer to start with. You didn't have to.
Yeah.
All you do. Here's what I told the FBI. Anytime they ever come to me and ask me a question, you know what I told them? Always told them.
What'd you tell them?
You knew what the answer was before you come and asked me. Why'd you ask me?
That's why they asked the question. They already know the answer. Jim from Florence follows up with, why did Spot Mazzino have Red Watts killed? I don't know.
Why did Spot Mazzino have what?
Red Watts killed. I don't know neither one of those names.
I don't know who that is.
Way back on whenever.
Learn me something.
Way back on whenever in Marlboro County, the sheriff run against the senator. And after the election, the sheriff lost and he killed something in that. Have them to explain it. They'll explain it. But it was in Marlboro County. Spot Mazzino was the senator of Darlington County. He was a lawyer in Darlington County and stayed one of the top senators in the state of South Carolina for years and years. Now, Ken Ard could tell you if he was sitting here. But what Spot Mazzino had to do with that murder of that election, if it's the same one, ever who you are talking about. So that's the closest I can get.
Do you think that happens more? It used to happen more than it does now. People just offing somebody else because they lost an election or won an election or whatever.
Well, let me give.
Or do you think it's just at scale now? It just happens more on a national level.
Here's what it is. We were talking about the population a while ago, okay? Okay. The more population you got, the more weirdos you got, okay?
Makes sense.
So we got a whole lot more weirdos nowadays than what we had back then. So back then, we don't really know because we weren't at the trial, so we can't say. We don't know what was involved other than that would have caused that other than just an election. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could have been running around with his old lady.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have been a domestic problem, whatever. So we can't really say.
Is OJ guilty?
Is
O.J.
OJ
Simpson?
Is OJ Simpson guilty?
The juice?
If I was a gambling man, you were a gambling man, you were a gambling man, none of the three of us are gambling people. But if we were gamblers, where would you put your money if you knew how to tell the truth?
If the glove fits.
I personally, I mean, I wouldn't put it past anybody to, if you were just kind of robbing somebody to stab them so much their head was practically going to fall off,
Yeah, no personal association there at all to that killing. We got about 20 minutes. It's been eventful, chat. If oh man, it's up there. I ain't gonna be able to grab it. But I did an episode of Touch Grass with Jack Rock. I think we went into some of these kind of stories on that. Also, just go to my channel, Zeb Boykin on YouTube, and type in Jack Scott, and it should just come up. It's in the Touch Grass playlist. He's a little bit more animated today, Jack. Thank you for coming, first of all. And second of all, thank you for carrying the show.
I appreciate it. I need
the
publicity.
We need to get you full time. I need to get you a show every week.
Well,
you want a show every week? Just roll up here. I'll turn it on and let you go.
When you're
Got to
in
do
the
kick rocks.
When you're in the business that you're in, you need to get their permission, not mine.
Well, you got to do it. They'll watch you. They watched you just now.
Yeah, but they don't know what they're getting into. I mean, hey, this ain't but the second podcast. And let me tell you, this young man here, Josh, that just joshes around.
That's right.
He and I really had a confrontation before this podcast started, and we never seen each other before in our life, and we really had a ball. It was Josh.
We did. That was fun.
I ain't joshing around. We really had a ball laughing and cutting up. So the privilege was mine to meet you today, Josh, and to be on this show. And
it was a privilege to meet you too, Jack.
yeah, and maybe we'll get together sometime and have dinner, and you pay for it.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I got one quick question before you go.
Okay.
You're a fit guy. He's a fit guy. What do you recommend to eat while working out?
I'll tell you what.
Hold on. Before we started this podcast, we went to lunch and ate, and me and Ronnie and Jack had a little lunch together. Jack doesn't eat anything. We had a burger, and it took him 15 minutes to get through it. He's just taking little bird bites. Jack, what do you eat?
My diet consists,
sunflower seeds.
My diet consists of boiled eggs. I take them and mash them up.
Okay.
And mash my sausage up in it, whatever meat I'm eating, hamburger, whatever. And the reason for mashing anything up is your body is not working if your food is already mashed up to a digestive state. You have no stomach problems then, no digestion problems, because your food is already mashed up.
Mm-hmm.
I eat boiled eggs and Walmart protein.
Walmart protein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You shake your containers, Walmart.
Yeah, gold standard.
Yeah. So I try to make sure I know I'm not getting enough protein, but between the eggs and the protein, that's about my biggest diet. I have no appetite whatsoever. Never have. That's why I'm such a small guy. Yeah. Some people just got appetites. They can't quit eating. It's a problem. What's that disease called when you got a problem of eating?
Anorexia.
Anorexia?
Yeah. So some people got anorexia, but whatever the opposite of anorexia is, I got that. I have
Gluttony.
to make myself,
Gluttony?
No, gluttony is when you really do eat.
You got the
He's saying he is anorexic, kind of.
Yeah.
In other words,
Do you feel like, do you get hungry or do you just not eat?
never get hungry. Never. The thought of food never crosses my
Even when you were younger?
Even when I was young. I've been a small guy all my life. Yep. Never wanted. I have to make myself eat to keep my body weight where it's at.
I think you have a problem.
Yes, and it's more mental than it is physical. Okay, you agree with that?
Yeah. Do you enjoy eating
Do I
food?
Do I enjoy it?
Yeah.
No, because it all turns to shit. Why would you eat and it come out like that?
So you don't like
What
any
is
food.
fun about that? Huh?
You don't like food because because you can't eat it again.
I think that was a pun.
Boy, that's why God made it stink so bad. Us human beings are so sorry no good. We'd eat our own shit if he didn't stink it up.
I believe that.
I mean, really, think about it. I mean, a dog will return to his own vomit.
All right.
That's in the scripture.
I believe that.
Did you know that was in the scriptures? Talking about sin. Don't be like a dog returning to his vomit.
I believe that.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching Outside the, or is this Pendulum? Is this Pendulum? Or is
It's
is
whatever you want it to be.
It's
today.
whatever it is today. And thank you, Jack. It was good to meet you, buddy.
I guess
It's
pendulum.
good to meet you, Jack.
Privilege is mine, son.
And we'll definitely got to get you back on, man. We got to get some more stories out of you. Tell them the people. What do you tell the people?
What you want to hear,
I
baby.
like it. I like it, man. Well, appreciate it, guys. I think it was a good one. I appreciate all the
I got
audience
one more
engagement.
thing to say before you hang up.
What's that?
I'm single.
78 and single, boys, girls, whoever's
I'm
out there.
single.
That's good. All right. I think that's a good note to end on.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, drop a like, subscribe if you can. And like I said, there's an episode of Touch Grass with the Jack Scott on my channel. We will see you Monday.